Alright, on the play, match 4. And this hand is not exactly capable. Alright, there we go. Turn 1, turn 2. Hopefully draw some more action. This is a perfectly fine hand for having 6 cards in it. Alright, I'm going to keep Mutagenic Growth. I don't think I want another pump spell right now. I'm going to go turn 1 Sentinel, turn 2 Rancor Pit Skulk. Mutagenic would be nice to protect the creatures from anything bad happening to them, but the worst thing to happen would be Nettle Sentinel gets removed on their turn 1 before I draw this anyway, because then the Pit Skulk is really bad. So I think I just have to play around the worst case scenario of Nettle Sentinel not enabling Bloodthirst next turn, and I hope I draw more creatures, so Mutagenic goes away. If I was on the draw where I could guarantee to have that Mutagenic in hand to protect the Sentinel, it'd probably be better to keep it on top. Thornwood Falls, okay, green-blue, and they're also in the 3-0 bracket. Green-blue I would first guess Infect, but because they're in the 3-0 bracket, I wouldn't guess that, because Infect is not great. Could be some sort of weird Drake list like the one we saw, I think, 2 weeks ago now. Green, blue, red Drake Tron. I think they played Simic, Growth Chamber, and Thornwood Falls. Yep, it's that one. Is it Drake? Not is it Drake, sorry. Teamer Drake. Prophetic Prism, okay. They have their mana fixed, so they could have removal next turn, potentially. Ooh, that was a good draw. I get to leave open Vines and play my Skargan. And I get to untap my Nettle Sentinel. Forest there would have been pretty bad, but because Nettle Sentinel also wouldn't untap. Alright, main phase Impulse, probably looking for another Urza's land, so they can have Tron next turn. And they're dead on board if they can't, well, not dead on board, they're dead if they can't do anything. 4, 6, 8, 12. So hopefully they play a tap land here. Or don't play a land, or play one land and tap it for something that's not removal. Alright, they pass and they miss their land drop, so they're dead. Unfortunately for them. Discarding Explore. Go to attacks. Double check before I waste this. 4, 6, 8, 12. Don't think they have any free spells in their deck. Boom, dead on turn 4. Well, that's what Stompy can do sometimes when the opponent is unable to interact, so we were able to capitalize on them having a slow hand, and now we get to sideboard. Alright, so Scattershot Archer, unless we have 3 of them, it doesn't really do anything. I guess 2 can take down a Muldrifter, but don't care about that. Gleeful Sabotage can take out their mana fixing and their maps before they have a chance to crack them, but that generally doesn't work because they crack them right away, especially when we're on the draw. Tangle doesn't really do anything. Elephant Guide is too slow, I think. We want to be able to operate on 2 lands against them and not wait until we have turn 3 lands. So Epic Confrontation, potentially, to shoot down maybe their Seagate Oracle blockers and take out the Drakes before they can start looping them. And Gleeful Sabotage to try to mess up their mana base. Alright, I thought about it, and I think Vault Scourge is bad against them. It doesn't really have that much evasion when they have Muldrifter and Peregrine Drake and a lot of flyers. And the life gain doesn't really matter when they can combo us out and just go over the top of us with Rolling Thunder and just really huge plays because they have Tron online. So I think I'm going to cut these. I think I'm going to bring in all 3 Epic Confrontation. I would consider the Gleeful Sabotage more on the play if we lose this game, since it can take out a map before they have a chance to crack it if they play it turn 1. But I think it's a little bit too greedy to try to disrupt their artifacts, to disrupt their mana base. We tried that last time 2 weeks ago when we played against a deck like this, and it didn't work out too well. They have a lot of colored mana sources and lands too. Alright, they kept their hand, and we're going to keep ours as well. 3 creatures, 2 Rancors, 2 land. That's generally a good mix against most decks. We'll see if it's fast enough against this Drake deck. lead with the 2-power creature. Could also be good to lead on Wolf, because it's better to put Rancor on. Just because that's better against removal, but in the case that I want to play both of these next turn instead of one of my Rancors, then I think Nettle Sentinel is better to start with. And I think that is what I'm going to do. Let's play 2. I guess I'll play these post-combat to untap the Nettle Sentinel would be better. Quarian Ranger. Young Wolf. And then I can play my Rancors next turn and have Mutagenic Growth up to protect from a bolt. Second Tron piece. Plenty of colored mana between this and this. And they're going to crack that for their tower if they don't have it already. And have Tron and 8 mana available next turn, and they can go nuts with their Drake. Alright, well, let's go for it. If we force them to use a removal spell, we might be able to avoid... do I want to... let's put it all on the Young Wolf. If they get rid of the Young Wolf, then I'm going to have to... replay both Rancors instead of one, and that might be a little tight on my mana. But I don't want to go too all in on the Nettle Sentinel and force myself to play a spell every turn if I don't want to. Alright, go to 10. If they don't remove anything and don't block, we could be okay. I can go Epic, get rid of a 1 blocker, Mutagenic, and kill next turn. That would be 8, 9, 10, 11 power. Impulse instead of a land, instead of cracking the map for a land, so they probably already have tower in hand. Now they're looking for additional Is It Drakes, or maybe the first one if we're lucky enough for them not to have one in their hand right now. Drake generates 3 mana right now since they... Oh, wow, that's really weird. They impulsed instead of cracked their map, but then they didn't play a tower, they played a mine. So they thought it was more important to look for a card than it was to get Tron online. I guess they didn't have anything to do with Tron maybe, and they were just looking for removal. Alright, that gets a vote. I think we're going to win this game. Alright, well, unless they can do something... I'll cast this for life just in case for some reason I want to play Epic Confrontation this turn. If they flash in something, whatever. I don't need the life. Boop, you're dead. I also have this to back it up in case they somehow have a green-blue removal spell. No fog. I guess they got a fog for 1 mana. Ah, man. Okay, though, they got me to waste a Mutagenic. That's unfortunate. Mostly, what you see is the 2 mana fogs. You see Tangle, and you see... What's the other one? Is it just Tangle? I think there's another 2 mana fog that's sometimes played in Pauper. I don't actually usually see the card just fog. I guess that's why they didn't feel the need to crack the map right away, because they knew they were going to have an additional turn granted by the fog. That's unfortunate for us. Alright, 9 mana. No Drake, please. Looks like they're about to cast it. 10 mana. So Drake generates 5 now. Which means it's... yeah. Ooh. Alright, well. We technically can still kill them again if they only play 1 blocker and don't remove anything. But with them having 15 mana and the Prophetic Prism to filter, I don't think we can hope for that. Compulsive Research takes up 1 of their colored mana. Now they only have 1 colored mana left this turn, so they can only play like Prophetic Prism. I guess another Prophetic Prism would be bad, or pretty bad for me. Ulamog's Crusher would be annoying. They discard Urza's Tower. Let's see what else they can do. Seagate Oracle, okay. That's annoying as well. Alright, cracking the expedition map, main phase. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Maybe they can't play Explore. Remote Isle, okay. Okay, that cycles for colorless, that's why they're cracking the main phase. trying to find something else that they can do this turn. If we draw like another, no, not another fight spell. If we draw another pump spell, I think we have it. As of right now, we can fight here to here, then they block this, and then they take 8 after we pump the mutagenic. So we need another +2 effect. Nope, just hit a land. Alright, well, we want to take out the Peregrine Drake for sure. I could take it out with the Young Wolf, theoretically. But then that allows them to block Nettle Sentinel pretty efficiently. Without trading unless I spend the mutagenic on it. So I think this is the best way to divide it up. Alright, get to attack. If they just randomly don't block for some reason, then we could be fine. Or if they block the Korean Ranger and get greedy. But they need to chump block the Nettle Sentinel here, which is most likely what they're going to do. Or the Young Wolf. Either one soaks up 3 damage. Alright, yep. They are not going for this block, unfortunately. So 6, 7, 8, yeah, that would not be enough. We will pass. Going to save this in hand for landfall, even though the Korean Ranger could also do that for us. We don't have a way to draw multiple cards, so we can already cast anything we want, including this for mana, so instead of life. So I'd rather just save this in hand and make them think we have more than we actually do. Alright. Playing a Simic Growth Chamber and a Prophetic Prism, so they have 3 colored mana sources. That's enough for a Rolling Thunder with these 2 Prophetic Prisms. Seagate Oracle. If they don't do anything else, I can definitely win through that. Let's see, though. They still have 5 mana remaining, which is enough to do a decent amount. If this is a... oh, please don't be another Peregrine Drake. Please don't be another Peregrine. Oh god, it's another Peregrine Drake. That is so good for them right now. Oh my god, that generates 7, 9, 10 mana. Oh my goodness. Well, there's a reason this deck exists, and it's because of Peregrine Drake. And it's because the interaction between it and Tron lands is very good. I cannot wait for Peregrine Drake to be banned. Although this deck does look like a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot more complicated than the Is It Drake version. Compulsive Research. Discards the Simic Growth Chamber. Technically still have lethal if they don't do anything else, I think. Prophetic Prism. They're floating 5 mana. You know what costs 5 mana? A third Peregrine Drake. Oh my god, they actually have it. I mean, to be fair to them, they only have 32 cards left in their deck, and they also have cast Impulse, so they've also looked at the bottom 3 of their library. So, well, maybe not exactly the bottom 3, because they cracked a map and shuffled at one point, but they've seen a lot of cards. That cycling through the deck is what this deck is supposed to do. So they can actually find the Peregrine Drakes and have ridiculous turns like this. Well, now I need to draw Epic Confrontation. Muldrifter, and now Epic Confrontation might not even be enough. Probably won't be, actually. Vines of Vascular Groundswell on the Trampler could be nice. So if I can go +4 on this, +2 on this, that's 6, 11. So they have to put 8 points in front of it. So that's all of these. And then this chumps that. And then they still die? Yeah, I need a +4 effect, and I need them to have nothing. Of course, they probably sideboard more than 1 fog in, and they have 7 cards in hand, so it's likely they've drawn another one of them, but I can hope, can't I? Well, that's not a +4 effect. I'll play it to untap my Sentinel, I guess. Attack with the Trampler. Replay my Rancors and hope that works. Alright, they're going to give me those 2 things. saving their drakes, which makes sense for the flickers. And even if I need to spend 2 mana next turn, I can go 2 mana Rancor, Mutagenic. And nothing costs 3 in my deck except for Elephant Guide, which I didn't sideboard in, so I think I'm just going to save these Rancors. In case they had like Counterspell up there. I forget whether this deck plays it. Probably not. They still have to do something. They've drawn more than half of their deck. They have 7 cards in hand and a ton of mana. If they flicker these drakes, they have even more. So most likely they can do something, but there's a small chance that they can't. Mnemonic Wall, okay. Go and get Impulse or Compulsive Research. Trying to dig for the flicker. Once they find the flicker, the game's over. Since I can't interact with this combo. I could potentially stop the combo with a Vines of Vastwood, targeting one of their creatures. I could counter half of it. Compulsive Research, but I don't have a Vines of Vastwood in hand. Discarding the land. Alright, there's the Ghostly Flicker. So they can now go infinitely Ghostly Flicker these two for infinite mana. Then infinitely flicker a Mnemonic Wall and another Mnemonic Wall to get back Ghostly Flicker and draw any number of cards in their deck. And then eventually find the Rolling Thunder. One thing they can't do though is generate the second red mana, but they probably play Carevex Torch instead of Rolling Thunder so they can burn us out this turn. I could just let me go ahead and F6 for now. Alright, coming back. Looks like they are paying an X spell cost, so we will see. Alright, so they had the Carevex Torch already in hand. It turns out it doesn't take that many flickers to get yourself up to lethal mana whenever you're untapping Tron lands. Alright, on the play. Let's find a fast hand. Alright, this has 0 creatures in it, so we cannot keep it. Alright, this has no 1-drops, but it has a Silhana and 2 Rancors, so it could potentially get there. We'll keep the second Forest, since the Silhana is basically our only hope. And let's see if we can hit them for 5 damage 4 times. Before they're able to do anything about it. There's the map. Well, 5 damage 4 times isn't enough because they have a Thornwood. Another map. So I'm just going to play 1 Rancor and get this River Boa down. And I could potentially have them in 3 turns. If I play this, that's 7, 7. Well, I actually have them in 2 turns, 7 plus 11. If they don't have any more Thornwood Falls or any interaction or blocking. They go and find a tower, so they're going to have Tron next turn. If they have a Drake, that's not going to be great for me, believe it or not. Save this land in hand for landfall, even though this means I can't go Regenerate and Vines of Vastwood, but I don't think I'm going to need to do both. Alright, crack the map. Go get another Urza's Tower, so it looks like they're going to explore here. Cycle a Remote Isle. And if they don't do anything, they're dead. If they play a blocker, though, they can still survive. Okay, they're leaving up mana for a Fog, it appears. So the question is whether I'm going to go for this Vines or not. I probably will still go for it. Actually, I take it back. I think I'm not going to Vines. I'm going to let them go ahead and Fog, or take 7. They can save the Fog for next turn. If they don't fog this turn, that means they have to leave open green mana again, and they don't have a ton of green mana available. So I think this is best to make them make the first move. Still saving the land for landfall. If they have Drake here, they can get their green source back. Luckily, it appears that they do not. Alright, so fog is the only thing that saves them here. And I'm only going to attack with one because I don't think they have any flash creatures or any life gain or any way to deal with this hexproof creature. And if they also have Tangle in addition to Fog for some strange reason, then I don't want this to stay tapped down. Alright, there's the Fog. Groundswell in hand. Alright, they're super dead next turn. Even if they play like 3 blockers that all have flying, because this is... I guess I can't cast all these, can I? I can only cast 2 of them. Anyway, I have plenty of trample damage is what I'm trying to say. Alright. Go ahead and attack again. Another fog. This is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Alright, I'm going to play this Young Wolf. And I'm going to play it because it's good against Rolling Thunder. If they happen to have Rolling Thunder and clear our creatures. Alright, Prophetic Prism. What's that, 2 fogs so far? 2 maps, a prism, nothing else. Impulse with 8 mana remaining. If they find the Drake, they're pretty much golden. It doesn't automatically win them the game, but it does give them a lot more mana to work with. Prism, okay. They could potentially combo off here. Now that they have the second Prism. And potential for a red mana. Mnemonic Wall, getting back Fog. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. This is hilarious is what it is. But it's also ridiculous. Okay, no reason to play any of these cards yet. This can't be blocked by the Mnemonic Wall. So they have to spend their Fog. And then I'm going to use my Vines when they try to flicker the Mnemonic Wall and hope that's good enough. Alright, 3rd Fog cast this game on turn 8. Alright, they cast Explore. If they don't find a Drake, we probably will eventually win this game. If they do, then I'm not so sure. They only have 4 cards in hand, which is enough for them to be bricking and not have a Drake or a Flicker. Alright, so they're passing here. They probably have Ghostly Flicker, and they're going to flicker the wall at instant speed. 3rd Rancor. Is there any reason for me to attack with something other than just Silhana here? I don't think they can flash on a blocker. I think they either have Fog or Tankle. Probably just a Fog. They're probably going to try to flicker the Mnemonic Wall. I'm going to Vines the Mnemonic Wall. And then they're going to be sad. Alright, let's attack. Tangle. Oh wow, I called it. They did have Fog and Tangle, so I played around it by not attacking with everything all these different turns. So luckily only the Silhana is going to stay stuck down. Also luckily I saved this land in hand. So I'm going to play the Rancor now to free up my mana on future turns. And then next turn I can Groundswell Hunger of the Howlpack on the trample creature and still attack in for lethal, I believe. That's going to be 4, 5, 8 total. That's 4 damage plus 2 here. Or if they block here, yeah. I think I'm still okay even with this not untapping. I think I can still attack for lethal. I wonder if they play a split of Fog and Tangle, or they're already playing the full 4 of one, and that's why they went into the other. Compulsive research themselves, okay. As much as I like winning matches, it's kind of annoying being at 3-0 or 4-0 because you face a lot more Drake decks then. Play a Prism, okay, got some more colored mana sources. And a fourth Prism, more colored mana sources, up to 5 cards in hand. They're 28 cards deep into their deck, so they have to have a Drake, right? How can they have gone this long without a Drake? Seagate Oracle. Yeah, this is probably the Drake turn. The big problem is they're so deep into their deck, they probably have multiple Ghostly Flickers in hand. So even after I Vines one of these creatures to counter half the Ghostly Flicker, I probably am still going to be in trouble. Wow, they just played a Seagate. Have they not played the second land from the Explorer? They're probably going to play another land and then Drake. No, they're not. Wow, they're just passing. Okay, then. Do I need to Groundswell right now? Or Hunger right now to save mana? This costs 2, 3, 4. If I draw another 2 mana spell like Vines of Vastwood, I'm not going to be able to do everything. I think I should just Hunger now. So let's say they don't have a Fog. Can I for sure get through these? Let's say they have nothing in hand at all at instant speed. No Fog, no Tangle. I go Hunger to 4. I untap, land Groundswell to 8. Vines to 12. So if they put these 2 in front of it, they die. If they put all 3 of these in front of it, that's 10. They take 2 plus 2. That's not actually lethal. So I would need to draw more. I'm going to recount that one more time just to be sure, but 3, 4, 8, 12, minus 10 is 2, plus another 2 is 4 total. So I think I am just going to Hunger this right now. That way if I draw another 2 mana pump spell like Vines, I'll still be able to I'll be able to cast it and actually have lethal. Assuming they don't have Fog or Tangle. Which is a big if, considering how deep they are into their deck. Alright. Do I play the land this turn? I think I do play the land. Do I attack with the River Boa? I think I do. So I'm going to attack, and I'm going to play my land. I'm going to make this my turn to win. If I don't win this turn, I'm not going to win any turn, because I'm probably expending both of these spells trying to win. Whether it's by, Vinesing one of my creatures, or Vinesing and Groundswelling, or... If they have another Fog, I could be okay. If they have another Tangle, I'm not going to be, most likely. Okay, so Vines of Vastwood, and I win, right? Or Groundswell is enough. I'm going to go with Groundswell because I want to save the Vines in hand to counter half of a Ghostly Flicker. Alright, that's 8 points of trample on a 3 thing. So is this Tangle or Fog? Moment's Peace. Oh my gosh, they have 3 unique Fogs in their deck. And I can't do anything about the flashback on this? Oh my gosh. This is so brutal. This is beyond brutal. I wonder if they have some number of these main deck as well. Or if they just have like 3 Fog, 3 Tangle, 3 Moment's Peace in the sideboard. Okay. I guess I'll play this because there's no reason not to. Everything is untapping next turn, so once again they have 1 turn to beat me. They don't have any blockers for the Silhana right now. Moment's Peace, I can't do anything about that at all, so that buys them at least 1 more turn. I think I'm just dead here. To the Moment's Peace. Peregrine Drake, okay, well, here comes the combo. Or maybe they're just going to show us they have the second Ghostly Flicker. Oh no, they have the, yeah, they already have lethal. Yep, there we go. Carvex Torch. Okay, well, we lost. I messed up there at the end. I should have, on the first Ghostly Flicker, targeted the Mnemonic Wall. But then I would have still not had lethal on board. because they could have put any of these in front of it to block this, or they could have put both in front of it, and that would have been enough to soak up enough damage against any pump spell I drew. And I was drawing a forest anyway, so yeah. And they also had Moment's Peace up if they untapped anything. Yep. Anywho, I don't think I could have won that last match, although I should have played a little bit better at the end anyways. Anywho, that was kind of fun until about the 4th fog effect. And then it stopped being fun. But yeah, that was an interesting match. Okay, on to match 5.